Yes, it's probably going to be a little bit of a... Hello. I think we're back. Hello, friends. Alright, so, apologies. Had a little bit of a hiccup. Humbug is going to find that bow's going to be a little bit awkward, but that will actually put to Infinity and Pgog in go mode momentarily. Wally and Jet are still looking for this flute, though. That's going to be a little bit of a spicy thing, but also, too, one thing to keep in mind is that the firepower on Relkin's side is pretty substantial. Of course, you know, Phendrana will get to Tempered soonish. Yeah, now it's sort of on the clock for them to get to Agina and find this flute, as there's supposed to be the dungeon rush, or boss rush, if you will, to the end of the game. Yeah, I mean, Relkin's probably thinking that. Also, to that point, though, I do think that as Relkin was in Ice Palace before, Humbug was in Skull, so maybe saying, look, hey, you're going to have to come back anyway, you just found Samaria, you do right side. It's a little unfortunate, but that being said, like, getting to Ice Palace with the flute is pretty nifty. Of course, Infinity and Pgog still has to find this mirror, but now that they have the bow, you know, they're going to get to the mirror very quickly as well. So Phendrana is for sure on a clock at the moment. It's definitely a kind of gross time sink. And again, I'm shocked because with knowing where this lamp is, and everything else. Yeah, welcome back.
Yeah, we keep saying...
We keep saying it, yeah.
They've got to know, but they keep not going there.
Yeah, flute is in Agina, and I believe all of our other bottles were locked behind anything, so they can't even think that might be a flipper check or anything else, so that it would have been behind the mitts sitting in Waterfall. So, like, it's unfortunate that that's just where it is, and they also haven't found the book either. I have no idea where Relkin pulled that out of at this point. But yeah, they are on the clock now to figure this out and cover bases, cover ground. So maybe Wally gets this out of going this way with Purple Chest. Book with Spy Cave. That's grotesque. And would make some sense. Yeah, Humbug going to do all of Pod, though, instead of doing... Obviously, you're not going to do this first. You're going to try to hope and find a mirror out of Pod and then get Eastern done. Unfortunately, it's the other way around, but yeah.
Yeah, there's not a lot of dodging that, unfortunately. When you've got the bow, you know that you need to get both dungeons done. More items in Pod. Just do Pod.
Yep, do Pod. Yeah, Pod first is unfortunate. And two, Wally may go here, get this Agina done after Purple Chest. Counterpoint may also just go to Swamp. Yep. That's like, it's probably why you're bringing your portal all the way here. You're going to Swamp. Oof! Oh, what? Oh. Okay. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna go do this first. We can continue bringing our mirror portal with us, but let's go ahead and have a look.
This will be a ye and haw, and now it'll be sort of a rush to get dungeons done as soon as Wally pulls this out. Be a little unfortunate, but considering that they are behind on the dungeon count. Yeah, and that signals to Jet, hey, we're in go mode. Let's do the thing. Oh, no, they don't actually know they're in go mode. They don't know Meyer Medallion. I apologize. Here's remember gets first. It's probably gonna be Relkin, I suspect. Maybe, maybe not.
Well, they do know where all 3 medallions are, so it's not as though they really have to go looking.
This is true. They do know where the medallions are, if nothing else. But yeah, Wally's gonna activate this flute. Yeah, the one thing is that Humbug has I would call it a fair, like, not sizable, but like most of the dungeons that he has left are going to be fairly short once he gets out of this pod. So it's a little bit scary on the Phendrana side. Of course, you know, we do have Castle Tower done by Relkin, by Jet, so, but yeah, it's going to be a little bit of a crazy cleanup now to kind of get everything done. But they are in go mode, so Wally will be able to kind of rush this down fairly fast. Pgog still looking for the mirror. Oh,
yeah, you might expect that Wallkicks will open a couple of things on the way in here, just in hopes that one more sword comes out and he doesn't have to worry about it.
Speaking of the one more sword, though, Relkin has more swords than the entire Drifter side.
Yeah, he's got enough swords to have an adventure, and definitely he has had.
Yeah, and Relkin will find this mirror first. For sure. So where are the swords? There is a sword in Mire Shed, there is a sword on Lumberjack, and our last sword was the green pendant from Trinex.
And the very first one was just in the Forest Thieves drop.
Yes. Yes, I'm wondering too, what is Humbug's Tempered going to be? It might just be Green Pendant turn in before Pig? Or is it Akka? I have no idea, actually. So I assume that you want to grab a Tempered at some point. Yeah, we are now in the frantic rush to the endgame.
Yeah, you'd have to think that without eyes on silvers, you would go ahead and at least just pick up one of those swords somewhere.
Yeah, for sure. It's not as though they can't do it, but even still, it speeds up so much. Like, Master to Tempered, like, kind of goes without saying. You know, some bosses are just much faster. Your climb in GT is much cozier. And it's certainly better than sitting on the fighter sword that Wally has done, which 100% admirably, but given what Pgog's gonna do.
Yeah, one would think that Jet's going to activate the flute, going to get into the Mire area. You almost have to check Mire Shack there. It's too fast not to, right?
Yeah, for sure. Question, and I don't know, did he do Skullwoods? Did Jet do Skullwoods when he grabbed his Samaria, just got Samaria and bailed? And I think the answer is... Sure. I think the answer is he might have just gotten Samaria and bailed. So I was trying to think of, like, where... Just what the final sort of rush to the end looks like. First strikes are still not done. Okay. I 100% trust y'all. It was one of those things, like, I know that you obviously had to go there for the Samaria, but that might have just been a, hey, I'll come back and get this whenever.
Quick dungeon count. Each of Pgog has 6, and Phendrana has 5 and 5? Am I counting that right?
Yeah, it's 5 and 5 looks like, so. And again, sort of just by eyeballing it, it kind of looks like Humbug has a really kind of clear path to the end, and he has, I would say, somewhat easier, faster dungeons to do. Granted, you know, we're going to get information for Meyer on Jet's side, and I don't remember where the big key was, but yeah, it's still, like, it looks like it might be Fendrana a little bit behind, kind of going into the final stretch of the game. Yeah, the other things to keep in mind too, Wall Eaton doesn't have the half magic, which both members of Pgog do, so again, like, just extra ammunition kind of going into this endgame.
Jet did find that sword in the Mire Shack, so Wall Kick's at least going to get up to Master Sword before before getting too much further into this nonsense. But does still have it's going to be a hammer cold stare. Let's not kid ourselves. It's going to be Bombos and then Fire Rod and then Hammer to finish up.
Yep. Yeah, the other thing too is that probably Rocket and Humbug really aren't opening any more chests. They know we're all, like, they could for silvers, right? But at this point, they're just going to say nix everything. Where again, Phendrana probably still going to be looking for maybe silvers, maybe the sword for Wally. So, because right now, he kind of has the awkward task of trying to figure out where he's going to get his temper. We know where it is, but at that point, when he's likely to do Aga Tower is going to be after GT. So, and we know, of course, Green Pen to turn in as the last sword. I don't know that Wallet's going to take the time to do that.
Yeah, it does feel a little out of the way. Maybe while you're on your way to do Eastern, you just turn that in. But yeah, that's a bit of an ask when you're fluting to 5.
Yep. Yeah, and we're still here. It's quiet, because again, at this point, the runners just kind of doing their own thing. There's not a lot to talk about. We're just sort of watching, enjoying, appreciating.
Yeah, at this point in the game, it's more, okay, well, I finished Eastern. Alright, well, I finished Pod.
Yeah.
Okay, where are you heading next? Just that, since everybody's pretty much done everything, and in the case of Pgog, it's the Swamp Go mode, which, well, you don't really need to talk about Swamp Go mode. It's not like you're trying to tell your co-op partner where the big key is, because it doesn't matter to you.
Talk about your SGL experiences or your playoff hopes and dreams while your NFL team sucked. That's a really good point. I mean, you and I, Mind DM, we're in the same conference in playoffs on League. We can talk a little about each other. How are y'all feeling going into things?
Well, we could absolutely hit you guys. All we have to do is have Link Floyd steal another game from Uncle Router so that they don't run the entire side of our bracket somehow, and then shenanigans occur.
Yeah.
That's rando, right?
That's rando. I mean, we get rando no matter what. All the way through into playoffs. Yeah, it's like, I'm trying to remember the situations where we could see y'all.
It'll be late.
And, yeah, it'll be
late.
It was actually fun getting to talk with 2 of your teammates though at SGL, and we were getting to muck around and talk about that for a while. But yeah, it will be interesting how that all plays out.
And see, I told your teammate that he should have come and hung out with me, and he thought that I meant that he should have hopped on a plane and gone to SGL, and I said, I didn't go. You should have just gotten on Discord with me, where I was basically all alone because everybody went to SGL, LOL.
Yeah. I'd rag on Karma about that short-term memory, but poor guy just doesn't sleep, just fueled on Mountain Dew and Call of Duty, so bless his heart, he's doing his best.
Living his best life as the Randomizer whisperer of Crystal Roller Crew.
There's something not quite right with that boy, but hey, it makes him happy. And I think we are looking at, I can't remember what our whole playoff situation is, but yeah.
With the reseeding, I'm not even trying to understand it. It's just, I'll wait until Drosy tells me who I have to play, and then I'll play them.
Yeah, I'll wait until the thread comes up, and then I'll be happy to see it. But SGL was a ton of fun. I actually got to do live comms with one of the people in this race, and so far lots of people have at least enjoyed that one silly clip that I had with Wally. Unfortunately, lots of people did get a little bit of the con plague, as you will, some variation of flu and or everything else, but honestly, it was a ton of fun. Would recommend it if people get the time next year. It was great just to sort of do that. It was kind of last minute for me, but...
and here's our answer to the question of what Humbug was going to do about another sword. Just going to go ahead and make the Aga play now rather than later and grab the sword. And
I wonder too, I guess because we don't really have, the pendants left over aren't really fun. You can't just do the let me go, run to a dungeon, save and quit in Darkwood afterwards, because his last stuff is going to be TR. So, we are doing Dark Aga, though. Kind of forgot that he didn't get that lamp. So, not as though he can't do this, right?
Yeah, it's fine. You got a Fire Rod.
Rod.
Full Dark Aga is a different beast. But yeah, as long as you've at least got that Fire Rod, the 2 rooms that are otherwise a little questionable, you've got the torches in them. You can just light these braziers with your Fire Rod and move right along.
And go, yeah. And this makes sense, right? Again, we talked about, I think Tempered definitely speeds up your climb to a point where maybe this is not the most, I'm going to air quote, not that anyone can see it, efficient way of getting things done, but it's definitely cozy. And honestly, probably the time is made up in the Gauntlet alone, with just having that Tempered sword, so...
Yeah, it's going to make Turtle Rock better, it's going to make GT Climb better, it may make parts of GT Basement better, depending on where and what you have to go and do.
Yeah. Poor Wally's sitting on the one sword.
Someday Wallkick's second sword will come, but that day has not yet arrived.
Yeah.
Probably just doom scrolling his email, waiting for Amazon to say that his order of a sword has shipped.
Your sword has been delayed thanks to the holidays.
Never happens.
Never. Not ever. So the one thing, too, Jet does have 2 very quick dungeons left. We were saying, of course, that there is a dungeon deficit. To be fair, Humbug is about to just have TR and GT after this because he had quick dungeons to do. Robin still, unfortunately, has to do Thieves Town, which, no matter what, really doesn't get that much faster. So yeah, we're sort of overcoming this dungeon deficit with Mire and Desert for Wally being able to get those done at once. It's gonna be close going into GT. It could just be the location of the GT Big Key. But Humbug and Relkin do have the sort of the collective castle tower on the table as well, which is still going to be time. So what's a bit of a nail biter? I will say that I think Infinity Pgog a little bit ahead, but could just be location of the big key, routing, which, you know, in co-op even still, it matters a little bit less. But yeah.
Yeah, how do you like to do your GT route? Because in this case, it looks like Humbug is going to be there early enough that he can kind of do whatever he wants.
I mean, if there's enough time, I feel like you're probably just going to DM anyway, right? Like, you're going to cover your bases in that way. If, for some reason, my partner's coming in quick and it's not Compass, say, hey, just join me on the left side, which is what it is. You know, I don't think that we're ever going to try and, you know, I personally don't do the tile room meme. How about y'all? What's your kind of your go-to?
Yeah, we've been doing the same kind of thing, and we really try and pare it down to, well, how close are you? How close together have we managed to keep this? Because, you know, some co-op seeds, you just don't. Somebody's a full dungeon behind, and you can get the entire DM route done, and your partner is just now opening up GT cutscene.
Yeah, definitely these two teams are sort of, I feel like, definitely going to avoid the chaos of, oh my god, we're both in GT at the same time. You go right, I'll go left, pray there's a small key. You know, this is really
good. And in that
good
situation, what we've chosen is, okay, one goes left, one goes right, and if there's no small key in Hope Room, we just swap.
Got it.
I don't know that it's the best answer to the question, but it works cleanly enough for us.
Yeah, the waltz of the climb. Or the waltz of the big key search. Poor Wally. Finally getting his second sword at the hour mark.
Oh, apparently I was just blanking on that. I figured that Swamp was lit up for Humbug for some reason, and it wasn't, so yeah, never mind.
I thought it was too. Maybe it was and I can't read.
Yeah, I'm gonna chalk it up to that. We can't read.
Yeah, we can't read, can't write, can't see.
Oh, now that last one hits a little close to home.
Look, they should not let me out after 6 p.m. I have nearly the Coke bottle glasses. I can't see for anything after a certain point of day. Just echolocator on my apartment.
Just go bump into things, whether it's day or night.
That hits a little close to home.
Yeah, that makes two of us.
Why do I have all these bruises on my leg? Oh, look, my furniture moved again.
How did that happen? Man, people need to stop breaking into my apartment and moving my furniture.
My furniture around, yeah, exactly.
I mean, you've heard of the underpants gnomes, well, this must be the furniture gnomes,
These are
right?
my furniture gnomes, yeah. No, my feng shui gnomes, right? Like, they're trying to make my feng shui better, and I just keep ruining it by bumping it back into place.
Alright, so we've got Jet up on the mountain, has to do both mountain dungeons. Wall Kicks is about to wrap up Mire, then has to wrap up Desert. Grelkin is in the kind of long, slow Thieves Town. You don't always think about how much time Thieves Town takes, but Thieves Town is not the quickest dungeon in the world.
Yeah, Thieves Town's where you get your steps in no matter what. You slap on the Fitbit and you just go, but... You know, all things considered, and I'm kind of shocked by this, Wally will actually probably be close to the first in GT. Clearly, I can't estimate dungeon times to save my life.
Yeah, in fairness to that, he is the one of the Forerunners who is still going to have to do Castle Tower at the end of all of this madness.
Yep.
So while he may gain in the moment, he's still going to have to give that castle tower time back eventually.
Yeah, and we'll probably also sneak away and get a sword too, unless silvers show up. So
Yeah, if you find the silvers while you're looking for the GT Big Key, Master Sword Silvers is impossible compared to Master Sword Silverless, but it's still faster.
yeah.
Silverless is nice, you just kind of get into a rhythm. As long as you've got the magic to support it, it's fine. As soon as you start trying to actually turn Ganon blue with the Master Sword, so you have to make sure that you're very precise, because otherwise he bounces you off at an angle, and he doesn't stay blue long enough, and then you can't get the silver into him, and then everything is wrong, and the lights are out again, and yeah.
You speak from experience. Poor Humbug getting some...
That dead rock is just not where you need it to be. That is the life of a dead rock. The dead rock living its best life, and you just have to put up with it.
Living your worst. Yeah, and I think Wally has now emptied his bottle, so if nothing else, hopefully he makes a quick jaunt off to the witch to say, please give me a blue and a green, and a drive-by, but... The other thing of note, too, Wally has 2 arrows. Now has 7 arrows.
Yeah, 7 is probably fine.
Pelthar asking who is ahead here. Good sir, I'm not qualified to answer that question.
We've been thinking for a while that it's Pgog, but it's probably not by much.
That's what someone much more qualified who could tell us. We think it's Pgog because of their collective, but yeah, again, it looks like Wally will probably be in GT first. But not by much. And if he fills potions, it's going to be neck and neck for Relkin and Wally. But yeah, also with Relkin now having got all of his dungeons and has Castle Tower done. Wally's saying, nah, don't care about potions, I gotta go.
Yeah, it's fine. If anything, you would want them for the Ganon fight, and at that point, you really are just kind of expecting, I'm going to have to have done GT Basement. I'm probably finding something that makes my life better anyway, and at that point, having the potion in the back pocket, not really going to be meaningful.
Yeah, Wally still has Aga 1. Yeah, and the worst part, too, is the location of that last sword is where Wally is sitting behind either the green pendant, which he's never turning in, or the Aga 1. So it's kind of gnarly.
Yeah, we're just going to body Lionels, nothing to see here.
Yep.
Everybody else will at least be able to dash through those, but not wall kicks.
Give your local wildlife a hug. I'm sure they could use it. Yeah, and you're probably kind of hoping for a little bit of a quick big key if you're sitting... Actually, I don't really know what these teams are going to want here. Like, if they were in our position asking for where they want the big key to be, because they're probably hoping for some checks for Wally, but obviously, of course, you would just want the big key early on. But now with Jet being right behind Wally here, too. Which gets back in the situation we were talking about before.
Yeah, Yeah, Jet also having to clean up Hera here. It's just a quick 40 seconds, but yeah. Still something that has to be done. And it does seem like Relkin and Wallkicks have exactly the same idea of what they want to do here. Going to the Stalko's room, mirroring, going right.
Yeah. Yeah, I think at the end of the day, this sword advantage and everything else, especially with Wally also having to Aga 1, this is, I think, unfortunately, pretty dire for Phendrana.
Yeah, it felt like if there had been some divergence there and Wallkicks had hit Silvers and the GT Big Key while Relkin was doing all of these additional checks, maybe they could have found a way to squeak this out since Humbug is going to be the last of the four getting into Ganon's tower, but it doesn't look like it's by enough at this point.
Yeah, and the worst part, too, for Wally is, you know, even if we do find Silvers, there's still just... Well, I guess he's got 22 arrows now, so not as bad. But, you know, not a lot of magic, so I have to figure out where he's going to grab that. Sitting on Master Sword, like, it's going to be a rough climb for them. So even, all things being equal, Wally still also has to do Castle Tower, and is kind of behind on everything, so...
This is not enough sticks to get this fight done. It's going to be close, but I think he started on 17 rather than... No, he was ahead on sticks. All right, never mind.
He was on 20-something
yeah,
sticks,
he started
I thought.
on 20-something? Yeah. Fair enough.
Yeah.
By the time I glanced down, it was in the teens somewhere, and I thought, wait a minute, that's not enough sticks.
Yeah, this looks close, but again, remember too that Wally still also has to do Aga 1, so it's dicey.
Yep, and Relkin did pull the GT Big Key over on the left-hand side. Wallkicks going to the... making that full right, the true Dark Magician play, and not paid out this time.
Yeah.
Mildly surprised he didn't take that small magic decanter there.
Yeah, he's gonna need it.
Sooner or later, you do need magic on the climb.
Unless he's got a bottle full of something, which, and maybe I'm thinking that, Humbug who used both the blues. Maybe Wally has a blue or two that I'm not remembering.
That's entirely possible.
But yeah. Well, Ron's about to be in the climb, and like I said, the unfortunate part is that Pgog is just ahead, right? They're now all climbing, but Wally still has a castle tower to do, so this is... barring some small bit of disaster.
Yeah, Pgog up a sword each, also up a castle tower clear that Wallkick still has to do. It's, as you've been saying for a little while now, this is the dire straits for Phendrana Drifters in this game 1.
Yeah.
Now, speaking of the dire straits, Relkin on a couple of hearts here on this climb. I guess you're through the more technically demanding portion of it at this point, so probably not a problem, but it's something to keep an eye on.
It's a little scary, but I suspect he's gonna be okay. Like...
Well, all climbs are fine until they aren't. Oh, okay, so we've got... looks like we've got the low-value pool for the guards there, so managed to just snag another heart going through the door.
And I just saw him flip by a potion as well. So if worse actually comes to worse, I think he'll be totally fine. Yeah, and you can basically see the difference between Wally and Humbug here, like, just with rooms going on. Like,
Tempered Sword kills basically all these things in one shot, aside from the Stalcos if you're too far away and they jump off. But yeah, Master Sword, wall kicks, really having to put in the work to make sure that everything leaves the room so that he can leave the room.
to be fair, those sword beams were working well, was pushing them into spikes, so you know what? Not too shabby.
And that really is the trick when you're on a lower sword level. Use everything you can to your advantage, be it the spikes in the room. You can run your magic bar down, but then, especially when you're still on something like Master Sword, you have to find a way to deal with those land molas.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're on Tempered or Butter and you're kind of low on magic there, you can just break out the Red Cane and set up a use a spin and hope for the best. But yeah, when you're on Master Sword, that's not going to get the job done in one cycle.
Oh, the full magic refill.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Oh, alright, so Magic Pool then, had to be.
Yeah.
There is a heart in that pool, that's right.
Yeah. Yeah.
I always remember the blue rupees in it, I never remember the hearts in that pool for some reason.
I'm always disappointed by the blue rupees in that pool. I'm like, oh, you're here. I need magic, please.
Yeah, because they're relatively early in the pack. It's Big Magic, Small Magic, Blue Rupee. The heart is way off down near the end. I think it's drop 5 or 6.
Gotcha. But yeah, Relkin first into Pig, and again, as we've said a few times now, unfortunately, one, no silver showing up. Really curious as to where they're going to be. But also, two, Wally's still going to have to do that Aga 1 climb, so unfortunately this is too little too late. And Mr. Dorn being kind of rude, but yeah.
Well, that never happens.
This never happened.
And these Aga patterns, not really the greatest.
Yeah, they're not playing nice. Look, if Humbug struggles with those patterns sometimes, you know what? I can excuse my bad Aga 1. But my bad Aga 2, rather. Ooh.
Well, we've let both of the torches go out. This is probably fine. You're still on half magic. You've got the butter sword. It's the same 12 spins. You just have to kind of just be careful and do the thing.
Again, he still does have that blue, so he can get away with it. Ganon to the light world. So yeah, is it powder? Because we've checked everything else on Light World. Or the tablets? I forget how that the tablets one works. It says on a monolith, or if that's just cross keys, because
That's a cross keys thing.
Okay.
And Light World would be Bombo's tablet, because I'm pretty sure Ether tablet would just say Death Mountain.
Gotcha. Guys, gals, non-binary pals, please get your GGs in chat for Relkin. Wrapping up Pig here momentarily, crossing the bridge. Yeah, and not far behind. We do have Jet and Humbug going, but again, the unfortunate thing here, Wally's still having to do the Castle Tower climb, so...
It's tough to try and count both runners at the same time.
I'm just gonna wait for Pig.
Everybody is done. But...
Yeah, I'm just waiting for the Pig fireworks. Like that's when I'll know. I assume Jet was like 1 or 2 ahead, but yeah. HGG's in chat for Jet on Phendrana Drifters, wrapping up the 120 something, and I'm sure Humbug is not far behind. And also get your GGs prepared for Humbug. Pig going kaboom, got a roast. But with that, it will be 2 Infinity and Pgog taking this game 1 in their best of 3 co-op series. I think Wally stopping in there, stopping the timer.
Yeah, certainly looks like he knows. You got the race room, yeah. Or at least your partner has got the race room and says, "Nope, they're done."
But we are joined by several members of this race. Gentlemen, Relkin, Jet, Humbug, GG's, welcome in. How are all y'all feeling?
GG.
GG's.
GG.
Oh.
We have all 4 of y'all. So, clear your sphere 1. Clear the game.
Oh my gosh. We knew the whole time. We were like, okay, well, Flute can't be here or here or here. And we were running out of checks. And then, of course, yeah. Once we found Flippers, like, oh, well, now there's so many locations it could be. And that's a lie.
Yeah, so we were speculating that y'all knew because, as to our estimation, all of the bottles that we found were still Dark World locked. So it could
Really? I wasn't paying attention to that. We did not pay attention to that one.
Yeah. I mean, one of the bottles was in chest game, and you could just get that.
Yeah.
Without all.
Well, you could, but you still needed access to the mountain because that was behind the hammer, right?
Right.
No.
And so Flute wasn't a game night, so yeah.
Oh yeah. Of course it was. Of course it was. Right.
Humbug, I know. Yeah.
Flippers led to mitts, so.
No,
Right.
I didn't remember where the first glove was. Well, where our first glove was. Not the logical first one, but where our first glove.
Just hanging out in the
dude.
dam.
Yep. Well, no. Our first one was in.
Yeah, sorry. Your first. Sorry, the logical first one was in dam.
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, on Infinity Oxide, talk me through what y'all were thinking. Obviously, Relkin walking past the bow, but having to, with a vanilla ice palace. But what was y'all's thoughts, kind of rapidly closing in on bow mirror for go mode?
Yeah. Missing the bow and ice wasn't too bad for us, we thought. It was mainly the mirror we were worried about, just because you get that early, and then you decide to go to what? Because you got your mirror in Eastern, you also got your fire rod from Saha, so you do Skull Woods, you get your cane, then you go to ice, you get your bow, then you go back, you get your mirror. If you missed it early, you get your mirror there, but if you got it early, then you also have mirror anyway. And that was our big bottleneck was just finding mirror, and I was like, maybe if it's early in Eastern, that'll help us because it'll push Phendrana to do extra checks. But I definitely was thinking, but at the same time, mirror could almost be go mode in a better way if you just do Saha early and get your fire rod. But It turns out, I guess, that Flute was the real thing that helped us win this.
And not just the Flute, bring it over to Phendrana. Y'all, at one point, Relkin had more swords than the 2 of y'all combined. So y'all obviously knew where Tempered was. The 4th sword was on Green Pendant turn-in. So...
Yeah, I wasn't doing that when we're Flute for Go mode.
No, sorry. Absolutely not. It was more like y'all were Flute for Go mode and everything else, and it was definitely sort of a, like, really not out of the way, but you had no reason to check it, right? So...
Yeah. I don't know. It sucks because I'm putting the blame on myself because I died to crabs. And, like, if I don't die to crabs, I pick up the mushroom. Jet gets glove and dam and goes west and gets the Flute in the first 7 minutes of the scene.
So what happened was that Jet went east because
because
he
I
needed
didn't
to
get
cover more tracks. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah, that's unfortunate.
Yeah, Agina just got buried. It's just like, we'll get to this later. And it being Flute, like that is probably the worst location for Flute,
Yeah.
because the only easy way you're going to check that is like with a Flute and Mirror much later on. So
Mhm.
you don't do it early.
Admittedly, this seed was kind of straightforward. I don't know if y'all had any sort of like major thoughts kind of going through the game. Relkin, of course, found a book at some point, which I don't actually remember where it was. Chat was saying Spike Cave, but
Cave.
okay, yeah. So also something grotesque that you pulled out of nowhere.
Which, I mean, again, at that point, we're
Yeah.
for go mode, and it's like there's,
Yeah.
I have no reason to do Spy Cave.
Yep. Yeah, it's like, and I kind of figured too, like y'all had pretty much narrowed it down to where Flute could kind of be. It was just finding the right time to do it, because the items kept coming, the dungeons kept needing to get cleared. So
yeah, whatever.
Game 2. Do y'all have a schedule and a mode and a time and a place?
Yep, it's going to be Tuesday with pilot mode.
Yeah, it's not on the schedule yet because I saw you guys' responses, so I'll get that scheduled here in a little bit. But it'll be Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. Good luck. Don't let me get retrance on you guys.
I know that I've actually asked this question offline a few times. I even said it in the. I'm shocked that Retrance wasn't opened. I'm gonna blame Megawatt on this one.
Well,
No,
yeah,
that's-
honestly, yeah, you have only them to blame because they picked Game 1 mode.
But
nah, it's all good. But if we go retrance, be worried, because
Okay.
I am gonna crush everybody.
Wally mad.
I am gonna flex my retrance champion on you guys.
Oh, sir, this is a Wendy's, please. I will shut up for a moment and let my co-com mind him. If you have any questions or anything else that you want to say.
Yeah, I think we've hit the highlights of it. With the gloves and the hammer and the boots, and at least for Pgog, the flute popping out really early in this one, it seemed like it just wanted you to be able to go everywhere and do everything. Thank you all for putting on a really entertaining show. The seed lets you do most everything in a pretty straightforward manner.
Right.
But yeah, with that, I would like to pass over, runners, if y'all have anything else you want to add or anything else you want to say before we wrap this up.
Crab's dumb.
Crap's dumb.
Thank you all for the restream.
Yep. Thanks guys for getting this going. Looking forward to Game 2 Tuesday.
Yeah. Huge thanks to SpeedGaming for putting us up, Daruk and Jesse for doing the tracking, doing it so that our brains can function as minimally as possible just to talk about the game. So
Spend an hour and 20 minutes blabbing about. That's fine. We're good at that part.
So y'all have a good afternoon and a good evening. Thank you everyone for watching. Y'all take care. And I just saw the powder get ripped out on Relkin's sides on Ped, so
Yep,
But yeah.
I think this was the last invitational matchup for the day. Coming up 4:10 Eastern, we've got on SpeedGaming 2 an open matchup. This is game 2 of Dead Rock You Like a Burnicane versus Witchful Thinking. Dead Rock up a game in that. Game 2 is going to be Retrance. Then coming up in the evening, if you need a little dinner hour rando, the ALTTPR League Twitch channel has game 1 of IPBJ Time versus Long Shots. That's Pilot Spoiler. And 40 minutes after that on SpeedGaming Prime, game 2 of Where's My Meme Item versus Majora's Masked Marauders. I believe Meme Item is up a game in that one. And game 2 is going to be Randomizer. So stay tuned for some more Link to the Past Randomizer League action coming your way here in the next, well, in what, half an hour for the first one, and then about 4 hours after that for the next two.
Thank y'all, everyone. Take care.
That'll close it up for us. Have a good rest of your day, everybody.